Hey everyone, it's good to see y'all once again. I'm sorry for the late video. A couple things were holding me back, but the series must continue. For those of you just joining the series, let me remind you that you are not forgotten and you can download any of the episodes on the Dallas Venom website under the download section. Now before I get today's lesson started, I do have a question from ICAM on the Dallas Venom website asking about the last episode dealing with offensive holds. The question asks, Master, is there a way to know which mid attacks an offensive hold will beat out, whether it be mid kicks or mid punches? Now the answer to that question is that offensive holds have two hit levels. Both hit levels cover mid attacks. However, there are some mid attacks that are very evasive that may require you to do a low offensive hold instead. But for the most part, high offensive holds will cover all mid attacks except for those select few. Now that the question has been taken care of, today's lesson will be about what was talked about in the question, and that is evasive attacks, which are also known as crushes. So let's get to it. Evasive moves or crushes, which is the term used in DOA, are very useful in so many situations, and most characters have more than just one or two of them. Crushes can help you limit your opponent to use only a few key attacks in their arsenal, which in turn will help you break them down. However, although crushing attacks are great moves, the majority of them can be punished with a simple throw after being blocked. So let me give you a word of advice and try not to abuse them unless you're absolutely sure you're going to evade your opponent's attack or if your crush recovers in time to avoid a throw. Let's talk about what potential things crushes can do. Crushes will usually evade an attack of a certain hit level. Some crushes will crush high and others will crush low. Some will even crush two hit levels at the same time, like high mid or mid low. And believe it or not, there is even some crushes that will cover all hit levels, high, mid, and low. Now remember, crushes mean evade or evasive attacks in DOA. Crushing moves sound good, don't they? But it gets better. There are some crushes that are so good at crushing that they have their own category, which are known as true high crushes. Now the reason for that term is because of the fact that they can evade any high instantly, while others will take a few animation frames before accomplishing that. Now please note that not every character is blessed with a true high crush that attacks mid. Not only that, these crushes are the only kinds that can avoid high offensive holds, which is why low offensive holds will have to be used for these special kinds of crushes. These crushes also can avoid combo strings that include highs in them because of the fact that they can evade the high hit level immediately. Now that we know what they can do, let's talk about how we can use them in certain situations. Crushes are really good in tight situations where you're not sure what your opponent's about to throw out at you. So to make it easier on yourself, you throw out a crush on the screen. This way, if your opponent attacks high and you did a high crush, you would hit them for using a move that's easily crushed. Another way of using them is when you're going in on the offensive and you're not sure if they're going to attack you first. So instead of coming in with a basic attack, you come in with a crush for the potential attacks they may throw out at you. Also, if your crush goes under most of their highs and mids, then they will be forced to block, or else there will be a really high chance of them getting hit by an evasive move. One last technique used when using crushes is to use a crush after using a fast recovering attack. What will happen is if your opponent blocks your attack, they will have a small advantage but not enough to throw you, which in turn will most likely make them use an attack that your character could possibly evade, giving you a second shot at attacking your opponent even when you're at a disadvantage. One last thing you need to know about crushes is that they come in all kinds of forms, and that some are just better than others. Some crushes can be offensive holds and defensive holds. Some characters have offensive holds that crush basic jabs. And of course, every character has a low defensive hold that crushes highs immediately. Crushes can be mid kicks, mid punches, and low attacks usually tend to be the true high crushes for most characters. And believe it or not, there are some crushes that can be crushed. So if you have some time, go check out what other moves your character has besides down punch that'll help you crush all different kinds of hit levels. Go hopping and ducking all over your opponent's attacks as long as they don't do any true mid attacks. What's a true mid attack? That'll be for the next lesson. With that being said, this is the end of lesson 3. Thanks again for tuning in. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask, because I will gladly answer any of them. Well, you all know the drill now. This is your boy Master speaking, and I'll catch you all next time.
See ya!